Hey everybody, welcome to the Jim Master Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. How is everybody doing? I'm looking at all these great comments coming in already. It's so nice to see you guys. It is Monday. Hope you had a good weekend. We were very, very busy this weekend. Outing time with the family. Beautiful, beautiful day yesterday along the coast. We're out on the water and in the water, and we absolutely loved it. You always got to take time for family and friends and to do the things that sometimes go by the wayside. Always take time for family, friends, loved ones, not just in the summertime or when the weather's nice, but just do it as often as you can. As we've learned over the last year, life is precious and life is short. So celebrate it and celebrate it in style with those who matter most. And we certainly have done that this weekend. And of course, we were on the air this weekend with two shows on Saturday. We're on live tonight. And we have a bevy of amazing shows coming up for you guys all week long. If you're watching live, those of you who are watching later on, when this is recorded and archived on our YouTube channel, we welcome you as well. Matter of fact, we archive and save all of our episodes. We've got about 440 episodes, I think, just about, of the Jim Master Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series that a lot of people like to binge watch. They like to go back to some of the earlier shows, the amazing guests who come in from Broadway and Hollywood and television and film and stage, as well as culinary arts, sports, comedy, you name it, inspiration, and lots more. We've had some extraordinary conversations on the show, and that's what I call these conversations. I don't call these interviews. And of course, we do a lot of our own thing too. We do host Levity Chats. What is that about? Well, the viewers call themselves the Levities because in the summertime last summer, I said the show has a lot of light, love, and levity, and I said it a little too fast and I said the word levity and everybody fell in love with the word. So now they are the Levities, and we welcome all the Levities watching around the world. And so there's a lot of episodes where we're on location, or we do what we call surprise pop-up shows where it's just the host and the viewers chatting about life and all kinds of cool things. So we do that in addition to doing what we do with our guests who come in from all around the world. We are, believe it or not, it is August right now. We are almost fully booked. We're fully booked this month, but fully booked almost with September already, night after night with amazing guests and great conversation and so much more. So thanks to everybody who's watching live and everybody who's going to be watching this later. We really appreciate all of you, all of the support, the comments, the private messages that you guys send, the tweeting, the Instagram messages, the Facebook messages, all the cool stuff that's happening. It really is absolutely amazing, and we really appreciate it. You guys are absolutely awesome, awesome, awesome. All these comments coming in. This is absolutely fantastic. Want to let you know that we've got a very special guest joining us in just a second. He's an author, a playwright, a keynote speaker, and so much more. Stephen McCall is here live on the show from Washington, D.C. Yes, from just outside our nation's capital. While you're there on our YouTube channel, gang, we would love it if you could subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, and click the notification bell so you don't miss any of the episodes that we do live, but also our surprise pop-up shows as well. And while you're there on the YouTube channel, if you could give this episode a thumbs up, we would love that. That really helps our show big time, because then YouTube takes the episode and they blast it out to more viewers around the world. So give this episode a thumbs up, we would love it. And drop a comment underneath this episode too. We would love that. That is big time. That really helps the show as well. So give it a thumbs up for the episode you enjoy, and then also drop a comment underneath as well. And don't forget, we also have something cool. I always try to mention this when I remember to. There's something new we're doing called Super Chat, Super Emojis, Super Stickers, Super Thanks. And that's something that YouTube is doing for our viewers when the show is live, in chat and comments. So what happens is when you post a comment and we see it, it becomes really bold and a brilliant color, and then it rises to the surface of the comments so everybody gets to see it, and then we show it on the air, and I personally thank you. And what that does is help support the series as well. So a lot of you have been doing that. Super chat, super emoji, super stickers. That's something, again, I guess we reached a milestone here on YouTube with our series, and now they're offering that opportunity to offer that to you guys. Share the levity, of course, spread the word to everybody you know about the Jim Masters Show Live, Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. So many of you do that, and we really, really appreciate that. It helps our show big time. And let's check in with some of our viewers and our loveties who are watching all around the world. Again, we're coming to you live right now. We are here in the greater New York tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, which is in the northeastern United States. For our international viewers, we're along the southern New England coast between New York and Boston, and it's 73 degrees and quite nice. The humidity is low, so we're being blessed right now with the weather. Maureen, where it's been very hot in Arizona, says, hello, everyone. I hope your Monday has been fantastic. I was off the grid this weekend celebrating my baby girl's 30th birthday. So thank goodness for the archives. Happy to be back in Liberty Hall. Happy birthday. Happy 30th to your daughter. That is a wonderful thing to celebrate. And all the best of blessings to your daughter, Maureen. Mary Bishop is watching in Florida, Pine Island, Florida. Hey, Mary, always great to have you here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Hello, Jim and lovely friends. Welcome. Again, we're very, very interactive on the show. We like to bring our viewers in. We like to have a great time, a lot of interaction, which I love. And as you guys know, I do that in my professional work in television and radio. So I transfer all that energy right here to JMS. Sherry Larson says, hello, everyone. Good to see you, Sherry. And Joan Sando. Sherry is in Kansas, and Joan Sando is here. She says, hi, JMS. I love saying that since that's your initials as well. Hello, lovelies. I hope you had a wonderful Monday. And hey, Maureen, good to see you, Joan. And everybody that's here. Lots of comments. Wow, look at all these comments. Everybody's been... they've been craving the Jim Masters Show Live, and we're so happy that you guys are here. Dawn is here as well. She said hi, and Dawn is saying hello to everybody else. Good to see Dawn. Nice to see you, Dawn. Cynthia Catherine Howard is here from Washington, D.C. Our guest, Cynthia, is from the Washington, D.C. area as well. So you might be neighbors. And more comments coming in. Ann Wozniak is watching from Jacksonville, Florida. And she says, hi, Jim and everyone. Hope this has been a marvelous Monday. And for all, sending love. Yes, it has been very busy. I was on the air all day. It's an extraordinarily busy month for me on the air in my work in radio and television, and then getting all these shows ready. And then we're slipping in a vacation as well, which we haven't had in a couple of years. So that's coming towards the end of the month. Cynthia says, good evening, Jim, and all the beautiful lovelies. You too, Cynthia. Nice to see you there in D.C., our nation's capital. Up in Canada, in Ontario, Merlin is here. Hi, Jim and all lovelies. Good to see you, Merlin. Over in South Africa, just a little swim across the big pond. Maybe a little bit more than a swim in South Africa. Juanita is here. Hi, Jim and lovely squad. And you are celebrating Women's Day today. So had an off Monday. Terrific. We celebrate you and all the women there in South Africa, and it's beautiful. Moy Loop, which you taught me, remember? Moy Loop, walk well, Juanita. They're in beautiful South Africa. Alessandra's in North Carolina. She says, hi, Jim and my lovely family. Good to see you. Alessandra, it's always great when you're here. Dawn says, hi, Jim. Good to see you, Dawn. Welcome to JMS Live. Nice to see you guys here and everybody that's here. Alessandra has been drinking tea. It's a combination of black tea, green, and mint. Very healthy, very good for you, Alessandra. Keep it up. Jane is in Sweden. She's always here watching us live from Sweden. Thank you very much, Jane. She says, hello, all lovelies, and Jim, welcome back, Mr. Levity. Yeah, we were off on Sunday because we were with our family spending some quality time with everybody. Alessandra welcomes Stephen McCall, our special guest, to the show. And Kathleen says, hey, Jim, hope you had a great day off. Hi, everyone. Good to see you as well, Kathleen, in New York City. Obviously, the Mets are not playing at home because you are here. Of course, Kathleen works for the New York Mets, and they are not playing tonight, and so she's watching. Alessandra says Stephen is now part of the Levity family. He's into the whole Levity thing. He's very excited. Cynthia in Washington, D.C. is drinking a little red wine. Very nice to kick off a Monday. We'll have to check in and see what you've worked up to by Friday. And, oh, great. You shared this episode on your Facebook and your Twitter. Thank you very much. I'm on Facebook at Jim Masters TV, also Twitter and Instagram at Jim Masters TV. Come follow, like, share. And good evening, Jim, from Cynthia. And Sant McCall is here. Good night to you as well. Welcome to the show. We love that. And subscribe to our channel, Jim Masters TV. We would love it. Thumbs up from Merlin and from Dawn. And Cynthia says she shared this episode on her Facebook page. Nice. And Joan says, how wonderful. Without Jim in this show, how would I ever have known about these talented artists? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Cynthia says she invited her priest over to watch the show. The priest is looking forward to joining us soon and will bless Lovety Hall. Thank you very much. We love that. Anyone ever seen the movie The Thornbirds? What a segue that is. And Jen Barry's here from Allentown, Pennsylvania. Jim, I cooked eggs over easy. Very good. Nice and healthy. And you have a shot of Jameson Irish whiskey right near you, right after the eggs. You are something. I tell you, you got a strong stomach there in... You got a strong stomach there in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Ian is here. And Ian is watching Kansas City. Fantastic. Nice to see you, Ian. Welcome. Ian Brown McLean is watching, and everybody else that's watching. Let's see. We didn't miss anybody here. June Rachel Sinaspa, our dear friend, is here. Sometimes the comments come in fast and furious. We don't want to miss anybody. Hi, all from June. And Sherry Larson in Kansas says we're at 99. Feels like 102 degrees, 68% humidity. I'm so ready to find somewhere cooler. Come east. Come northeast. Northeast, it's 73 degrees and sunny and light coastal breeze. We're on the coast here. We're lucky. Hopefully it stays that way. You know, the weather can turn on a dime. Christine Clifton watching in North Carolina. Greetings, Jim and all Loveties. Welcome, Stephen, to the show tonight in Lovety Hall. Dawn says it was nearly 100, and where she is, that is hot. And Jeannie Lacey's here. Welcome to the show, the Jim Masters Show live on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. And good stuff, good stuff. And you watched some of our daytime job videos on the YouTube. So some of my other work I do in television and radio. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You guys are the best. So it's time to welcome our very special guest to the show. And he is, again, in just outside the Washington, D.C. area, and he's amazing at what he does. He's a very spirited individual, and he is an author, as I mentioned. He's a playwright. He's a keynote speaker, and he's a man on the move. He's actually the first Black American research analyst to lead the military, space, missile defense, and defense innovation portfolio for the U.S. Congress Research Service in the Foreign Affairs, Defense, and Trade Division. And in the role, he is the only nonpartisan space policy expert in the nation to provide authoritative analysis on foreign and domestic space issues to members of Congress and their staff. And outside of his day job in national security, he is also, as I mentioned, an author, playwright, single dad by choice, and national, international keynote speaker. He's been featured in the New York Times, on CNN, and various magazines. And Stephen takes his audience on a journey to motivate, inspire, and engage us through his life's journey as what's really nice is he provides insight to inspire others to greatness. And I love doing that too. So he and I are kindred spirits in that vein. His vast experience has allowed him to hone his skills of leadership, education, communication, and handling adversity, which he shares in a way that leads people to success, empowering and motivating for a brighter future. I'm all about that. And so is Stephen. And again, he's got an exciting show that's coming up in October that we're going to be talking about as well. Really, truly a pleasure to have him here on the show. Let's welcome him live and direct from Washington, D.C., our nation's capital. Stephen, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
Hey, Jim, it is an honor to be on the Jim Masters TV show. Thank you for having me.
Oh, the pleasure is absolutely all mine. How have you been, sir? How have you been? Busy? I'm sure it's been probably extra busy for you of late, huh?
It has been extra busy. I became a single father this year around 6 months ago. So if you have not experienced, for those watching, if you have not experienced being a single parent of two children, going from single life with 0 children all the way to 2, it has been very busy, but very exciting. And it is an venture that I love talking about. And my life is just.
That's fantastic. Of course, there's nothing like the love of family, and to have that opportunity. Um, did any of the military background and training help you with that?
Definitely not. I would hope it did, but it did not. Being a father, a single father by choice, I chose adoption during the pandemic. So my military training, I guess, with scheduling, it helped. However, right now, both boys are in soccer, and I believe you said hello to one of my children who is watching video games in the other room watching our parrot, Santi McCall. Hello to my children, Santi, Julian. But maybe on the scheduling side, but outside of that, Jim, it has not prepared me to be a single father.
Yeah, it's a whole new thing, a whole new thing. Cynthia says your mic is skipping a little bit. I guess your mic is going in and out, maybe. She says, oh,
Let's see.
oops, the mic is skipping. So it's, I think the sound is going in and out maybe a little bit.
Okay. Let's see. Let me.
Maybe it's just sort of, June says your
Closer.
boys are awesome. Thank you, June.
Yes, she. Can you ask her if it sounds good now?
How does it sound now, guys? Yes, it's Alessandro says he's going in and out a little bit. Say a couple of sentences. Tell us about your boys.
Yes. Well, my oldest son, his name is Santiago, and he is 15 years old, and he's an avid soccer player. And my youngest son is Julian Stephen. I love his middle name. He is 12 years old, and he is also an avid soccer player. There they are, my handsome and talented boys.
Yeah, that's a great shot. It is still going in and out a little bit. Yeah, it's like every third word, it seems to just want to disappear. Not sure if it's a setting, perhaps, maybe, or something.
Switch mics and see if it's a little.
Yeah, that could be right. That could be maybe the mic as well. Christine says, Stephen, welcome to the show tonight. So glad you can join us. And you're now a lovety. Wow, single dad of boys. Great photo. Cynthia says, I think there may be some audio difficulties. Yeah, it could be the microphone, maybe. Alessandra
says, how's that sound? Is that better?
Yes, that seems better. Yes, that does seem better. Yeah, that sounds really, really good.
Okay.
Good looking group here in this this photo, and lots of great comments coming in here. I love this beautiful family picture from Cynthia in DC. She says yes, and Merlin says the boys are cute, and Alessandro says yes, the audio is better now.
Oh, that is perfect.
Ian says love you, Jim. Thank you, Ian. Juanita in South Africa. You're reaching all the way to South Africa with good audio now from Juanita.
Thank you. Technology. On live shows, you have to be prepared for technology. So this is all part of the process.
Technology and the lack thereof sometimes.
Yes.
That is great. Great. That's fantastic. This is Eileen Barker is here. Oh, Eileen Barker is here. She is watching from Australia. She is watching from Australia, I think from the Midlands of west of Perth, I think.
Oh, nice. Welcome from Australia. I just went there back in 2019.
Oh, did you?
Yes, for vacation.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, she's over on the west side, Perth, in the Western Midlands, and she goes Ripper Jim, and I love that. She was the first to introduce us to that phrase in Australia where you have a ripper of a time, a ripper of a good time, which is cool. Alessandra is saying, and again, this is all that lovety wave I was telling you about, the loveties expressing themselves live on the show, and I think it's a beautiful thing. Congratulations on becoming a dad. Welcome to parenthood from Alessandra in North Carolina. Beautiful. She's east of Perth. Eileen in Australia is east of Perth in the Midlands. The Western Midlands, east of Perth in Australia. Stephen, nice to meet you. I stand up and military salute you. Salute. We're military family love. Beautifully said. Eileen is east in the foothills of Perth in Australia. Now we know the exact spot. Jane in Sweden says, welcome, lovely Stephen. And Tracy Coletti Flynn says, two lucky and blessed boys. Very, very nice.
Hello to Tracy. I have known
Yeah.
Tracy for over 20 years.
Oh, that's wonderful. That is beautiful that she says that. Thanks for joining us, Tracy. Juanita says, nothing prepares you for parenthood, not even army training. Well done in choosing to
No.
go it alone. Harder still. That is with Juanita, who is in South Africa. And yeah, all these great comments coming in here. Beautiful and blessed comments coming in. So how have you, oh, Maureen comes in and she goes, I know you were in the military and thank you for your service, but parenthood is truly the toughest job you'll ever love. I like the way she says that
I
versus
like that.
have. She says love, which is a very
I
beautiful
love that.
thing. And Jenny Lacey says, what a great choice to create a family and be blessing. I love that as well. So tell us about some of these incredible things. You know, what was early on for you, some of the inspirations and people in your life that pointed you in the direction to sort of set up the foundation for you to do some of the incredible stuff you're doing now, Stephen?
Yes, well, for the foundation, I was diagnosed with Tourette syndrome, a neural behavioral disorder at the age of 9 years old. So growing up from the age of 0 to 9 was a very normal life, beautiful, fun, had friends, everything was going perfect in my life. No bills, of course. Food on the table. I had, of course, my parents. And then around age 9, that's when it took a downhill turn when I was diagnosed. Well, first I started showing symptoms of Tourette syndrome with eye blinking and barking. And then in Tourette syndrome, you have something called coprolalia, where you are screaming out vulgarities. And that is what many times the media loves to talk about. So I was one of the rare people. I think it was less than 10% back then, actually less than 5%, to actually have the coprolalia, and that was one of my first vocal tics. So from age 9 until around 17 to 18 years old, I was on heavy medication. I don't remember a lot during that time because of the medication, but I always felt like that I had no hope and I had no future. And then around age 19 years old, I attempted suicide. I had a gun to my head, and we talk about that during Dig Deep. That's premiering in October. But then from there, I won't say it on the show because it's going to be in Dig Deep. But I had the inspiration to, from that point, instead of dwelling on my past, trying to find out how to connect the dots that weren't there. So I didn't have any dots to connect, but I knew I wanted something greater in life. I made the decision around age 19 that I would never have kids, biological kids, because of the Tourette syndrome, the ADHD, and then also the obsessive compulsive disorder. So at a very young age, with the Tourette syndrome and all the challenges, that's where the foundation of my life began, really learning how to push through and trying to figure out how to navigate life when the path was not there. And then when I joined the military back in 1997, yes, I joined the United States Air Force with Tourette syndrome. That is a whole nother story in itself. And one of my supervisors, I went to him during the Kosovo War, and I asked him for a military discharge because my tics had started raising due to stress. And he pulled me to the side and said, Steve, or back then Airman McCall, you are going to be great. And the Air Force is honored to have you. And if you need to take a 2 or 3 hour lunch break, I will work for you. And my stress level, Jim, came all the way down. And ever since that day in 1998, when the sergeant had faith in me and said I was going to be somebody in life, that was really the first time anybody outside of my family spoke life into a dead situation. And since then, I have been crushing it because of that one gentleman.
Because, sometimes in life, it just takes that one person to infuse that inspiration and the kindness, and to take the time and recognize the situation and empower. And from that point on, you probably, like you're describing for us now, really wanted to always leave the room you're in better than you found it too, right?
Yes. So the room I was in, it was, I'm not going to lie, it was a very difficult room to be in.
Yeah.
I remember, like I said, around age 9, it was a very dark room and I had a gun to my head. So from that point, when I did decide to live life and try to find a way to navigate life, it wasn't only me navigating life. I want to help others. I want to help that other Steve McCall, because I like how when people ask me, who is your mentor? Who inspired you? I'm not trying to be mean, but nobody inspired me as a kid because I was that Black child with Tourette syndrome, with the disability that people did not understand, that was put to the side. And back in the 1980s, we still had corporal punishment in the school systems in Detroit. So even during that time, when I wanted to get help and I had questions or I wanted to speak to the teachers, many times I could count on one time that I was beaten in front of the class and then sent home and expelled, all because of a disability. So I didn't really have mentors. Of course, my mom has been my biggest support. But outside of that, I made the decision that because I did not have that mentor, any kid or any teenager or any young adult who is like the underdog like me or imaginary or feels imaginary, I'm going to make sure that I have a message that I can give to them and not only inspire, because some people say I'm a motivational speaker. I prefer to say I'm an empowerment speaker. I inspire, yes. I motivate, yes. However, I don't want people to feel motivated during the speeches or even during Dig Deep, because then they go home and forget about it and they remember how great Steve is. No, it's not about how great Steven is. It's about how you can take my adversity and my journey and empower you or empower the audiences to go home, go get the box of goals. I don't care if you're 15, 5, or maybe you're 70 years old and you still have goals that you did not accomplish because you didn't think it was possible. So I want to empower those people to go back home, open up the box of goals and say, yes, I can do it. Because if somebody like Steve can do it, join the military, fly planes with Tourette syndrome, surely enough, I can accomplish all of my goals and turn impossibles into reality.
Tell us about some of those other opportunities and door opening opportunities that did come your way along the way as you realized and absorbed all of this, Steve. And these things then pointed you in the direction of the career and of the things that you wanted to take on and tackle and master so beautifully.
Yeah, so I started flying planes. And once again, when I speak to people, especially teenagers, they are very shocked. How can you have Tourette syndrome and I still have some vocal and more motor tics, so my eyes blink. During this interview I will be suppressing all tics, so you probably would not see me tick. However, how can you have Tourette syndrome and fly a Cessna 152 or Cessna 172, which I have done? How can you fly a T-36, which is a fighter training jet? I have done that. So with me and the opportunities that I wanted in life, I always wanted to fly planes. But of course, with Tourette syndrome, I didn't think I could. When I joined the military, the opportunities opened for me to learn how to fly planes in the military. When I graduated from high school with a 1.2 grade point average, people said I couldn't go to college. Statistics will say I was not qualified for college. However, the school I wanted to go to in high school was Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. The school is around $150,000 to $200,000. My parents definitely didn't have the money to pay for it, but through the military, there was an extended campus of Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in Aviano Air Base, Italy. Immediately upon my first assignment, I signed up for classes. I don't know what happened, Jim. When I got an F in math in high school, I got a 4.0 in math at Embry-Riddle. And it was because of this one supervisor changing my trajectory and telling me, you're going to be, you are, and you're going to continue to be great. So I started taking classes at Embry-Riddle, a school that I could not afford to go to. And then a couple of years later, I received a lot of military awards because of this gentleman and hard work. And they put me in for a ROTC scholarship. And long and behold, I was one of the top 4 in all of Europe. And guess what, Jim? I got into Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, the #1 aviation school in the world. I could not afford it, but I got a full ride scholarship. And the first semester, when people put so much negative in you and in your life as a kid, that sticks in your mind. And I remember the first semester thinking, gosh, I hope I make it. I hope I make it. But that voice of Sergeant, I won't say his name, but the sergeant kept on coming to me saying, you're great. You can do this. You've got this. And the first semester, 4.0. And I remember saying it to one of my high school classmates, and their response, you must have forged it. Because they know, how can somebody with a 1.2 grade point average go to one of the top school, well, the top school for aviation, taking engineering classes, taking 18 credit hours while having to be in uniform for the ROTC, Reserve Officer Training Corps, and crush it with a 4.0. I'll be honest, I was shocked. Next semester, 4.0. Next semester, 3.9, 3.8, 4.0, and finally culminated with a 3.95 grade point average. And this is somebody with Tourette syndrome, ADHD, obsessive compulsive disorder, a learning disability. On the ACT, I received a 12. I read on the 5th grade reading level, comprehending on the 5th grade reading level in 12th grade. I can't explain how everything happened, but because of this sergeant, he really spoke life into a dead situation.
I tell you. And does he know, did you make it aware for him, make him aware of the influence he had on your life?
Yes, I did. I haven't spoken to him in many years, but it was him and then another sergeant. I will say his name, Ernest Bracey, and his wife and him might be watching. Ernest Bracey also, he was a master sergeant, a sergeant back then. He also came in and really pushed me. He's the one that put me in for annual awards and allowed me the opportunity to shine. So I talk to them all the time, probably once a month. And I did thank him, and I have thanked him many times, and I probably will continue to thank him because, like I said, I didn't have a mentor growing up. I don't remember a coach. I didn't have that male, the male role model to push me as a kid. But the military allowed me to have that role model and the mentors that I really sought when I was actually a child in high school and elementary and middle school. So yes, I thank them to this day, and they will always be in my heart because without them, I literally would have committed suicide because the military is challenging, and there are some very dark times in the military also.
It's amazing with all of this too. As I mentioned in the introduction, you are the first Black American research analyst to lead military space, missile defense, and defense innovation portfolio for the U.S. Congress Research Service in the Foreign Affairs and Defense and Trade Division. That's extraordinary work. Tell us about that and the opportunity that came your way to take on, and congratulations. I mean, none of this comes very easy without blood, sweat, and tears, and toil, and tenacity, and resilience.
Yes. So, Jim, once again, because of finally having mentors and leaders, I was stationed as a government civilian. So the story continues after graduating from college. I was supposed to be a second lieutenant, and long and behold, 3 weeks to 4 weeks before commissioning, I had some blood work come back with a pre-diagnosis of leukemia. Once again, 3 weeks. It was around November 15th. Graduation was on December 14th, and I had my butter bars, my gold bars ready. I was practicing my salute every single day. I was just proud. I was like, I do not believe I am about to graduate from college when I didn't think it was possible. And not only graduating from college, they made me a military officer after I told them I needed dishonorable discharge. So to me, it was living a very surreal life, and it couldn't get better. Well, with the pre-diagnosis of the leukemia, thankfully I didn't end up having it. However, I became a DoD civilian, and my old base commander in RAF Crowden, he contacted me and said, don't worry about it. Can you please drive to Florida? I was around 15 hours away. I had to get there by the next day. I had no experience. My resume looked very slim. I will use it, slim. And he called me, and I drove down there, and they said, you went to Embry-Riddle? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, you had a 3.95 GPA? I said, yes, ma'am. And she was looking at my transcript, and she said, well, interview's over. She said, you're good. I said, excuse me. And at the time, there's a GS pay scale from GS1 to GS15. I told Colonel Arroyo, that I wanted, hopefully, to get a GS5 because I knew that's what I was qualified for. And once again, one of my mentors, he said, don't worry about the GS pay scale. Around 3 weeks later, he called me and said, we need to rewrite your resume. Don't worry about it. I'm going to rewrite it for you and upload it in the system. On January 21st, I received the email. And I remember I was running around the house I was staying in, and they offered me a GS11. I thought the number was wrong because the GS11 was equivalent to a military captain, and I was supposed to be a lieutenant, so it was 2 pay grades higher. I accepted the job, and next thing you know, just opportunity started happening. And I had a supervisor. He was a senior executive, and he said, I'm kicking you out of Virginia, sir. He said, yes, it's time to go to Washington, D.C. He submitted an application for me to work for Congress. I ended up working for the Honorable Senator Elizabeth Warren. And he put me in for the program. And when I was almost done working with Senator Warren, he said, hey, come to Washington, D.C. He was coming. And he said, let's have lunch. He said, I'm not letting you come back in the Air Force. Excuse me?
Yeah.
I'm only here for a year, sir, or a year and a half. He said, it is time for you to work for Congress. And I didn't know how I was going to do it. And long and behold, the Congressional Research Service, the research arm of the U.S. Congress, the space expert, also named Steve, he was there for around 38 years. And the director saw me at one of the dignitary events that we had for congressional staffers and our members of Congress. And I was there, and he said, hey, would you be interested in coming to be the space expert for all of Congress? And of course, with the confidence I have, even though inside I was like, yeah, right. Thousands of people are going to apply. They've never hired. I'm very bold, Jim, so forgive me. They've never hired a Black person for this job. So I wasn't going to apply. 24 hours before the deadline, one of my mentors said, Steve, where's your application? I said, I'm not applying. They said, you better go on USA Jobs and submit the application. I went on. The application was a nightmare. I submitted it, and I knew I was not going to get an interview because I waited till the last minute. Long and behold, January of 2019, I received the interview. I was in Senator Warren's office right before she announced her presidency candidacy. So I had to leave because of the conflict of interest. February, I interviewed, and March, they offered me the position to be the first African-American, Black American senior analyst for military space, missile defense, and defense innovation. So my portfolio covers a lot.
And your family's response to hearing that must have been extraordinary, I don't doubt.
Yes. My mom, so my mom's my hero. Nothing surprises her. I think my mom probably thinks I'm a member of Congress right now because the way she talks about me, I sometimes have to stop her. I'm like, I didn't do that. She's like, yes, you did. You're a member. I'm a senior staffer for the U.S. Congress. I wrote 1 book. She probably thinks I wrote 5. So she's been like that my entire life. I had to remind her that I had F's in high school, and she thought I had straight A's. So my mom's just always been a supporter. So when I told her, she does the normal. She cries, says, I'm very proud of you. And then she tells everybody in the taxi and Food Lion, the different food stores, her doctors. When I go visit her in Roanoke, Virginia, everybody knows who her son, my middle name's Michael, but Michael is. And my other family members, they were very excited. But like I said, from that point, they weren't as excited because they had seen things work out over and over the past 20 years. And usually if I say I'm going to accomplish something, it does come to pass.
That's incredible. You mentioned the Tourette area, and you were on the board and chairman for the diversity committee of the Tourette Association of America. Tell us a little bit about that and some of that incredible work that they do and your participation in that. That's beautiful work, Stephen.
Yes. So I first met Tracy Coletti Flynn. I believe she was on the video TV show earlier. I met her around age 25 years old. It was after I was medically discharged from the military. And I felt bad, Jim. I felt that I had not given back. I had Tourette syndrome. I had a very successful career at a very young age, reached a level that most people don't reach in their entire career as a GS11. And I felt like I wanted to give back to the Tourette syndrome community. And up until the age of 25, I had never met anybody with Tourette syndrome. I didn't talk about Tourette syndrome. I didn't want to meet anybody. I didn't think anybody looked like me, which besides Jamie Grace and Evan and maybe 2 or 3 other people, I still haven't met many Black Americans with Tourette syndrome. But I want to give back. I met Tracy Coletti Flynn at Beverly Hills at one of the galas that they had, Hollywood fundraiser that they had, where they raised around $1.2 million that year. And when I met children with Tourette syndrome, that I'm not a big crier, but that day I cried. I had tears in my eyes because I felt like I finally was whole. I finally met people who understood me, and I met another military person with Tourette syndrome. So from that point, it was around 2002, I started volunteering at the local level, at the local chapter. I started volunteering and giving speeches at the national level. And then back in around 2018, I was honored. And the president during the time asked me if I would consider to be a national board member. And that was one of the greatest honors of my life, to join the national board of a national nonprofit and work and help the other families who are suffering and going through life with the challenges of raising children with Tourette syndrome, and being able to see the children and go to the galas and be on the red carpet and take pictures. And oh my gosh, Jim, it was the best time of my life. And recently I resigned from the national board because I knew in my heart, even though I didn't tell anybody at the time, in my heart, I knew it was time for me to become a dad through international adoption. I just didn't know how to actually tell people about that, because working for Congress, hooray, getting your master's and getting my bachelor's degree, hooray, becoming a single father of not just 1, but 2 children during COVID and during a pandemic when I have no drama in my life. I have nothing but peace. I was very happy. I was very content. That was another part of the journey that was very exciting. But I resigned from the national board to be able to focus on international adoption and becoming a father.
What was happening inside you? Was there something triggered? Was there something happening to you through all of this where inside you knew you wanted to have children, you wanted to have them a part of your life, you wanted to raise them and inspire them and have joyful moments with them and help them through life? Was there a trigger moment, or was it starting to build within you as life experiences were happening to you?
Yes, well, I was previously married, and I was a stepfather for around 5 or 6 years. And after we dissolved the marriage, at that point, I took some time off to heal because I thought it was very important to heal from, the divorce that I had. Yeah. And at that time, I knew I wanted to be a father my entire life. However, I just didn't know how. And now I was divorced. So that was one X against me. And then how was I going to actually adopt as a single person? So I actually discounted it. But back in 2018, November, in the middle of going through the challenge of the marriage, I decided to go to Colombia, South America, for my birthday. So the story sounds surreal, but it's true. I scheduled the flight to land on November 7th, which is my birthday. So I landed on November 7th, 2018, around 12:05 a.m. And I planned it that way. Not for adoption, just that's exactly what I wanted to do, because it was my first time just to get a vacation away under my terms and on my, my turf. So I landed, and that same day I met my friend Mel Quinn, who lives in Chile. And on November 7th, we flew from Bogota to Medellin that morning. So he had this crazy idea, let's go to Comuna Tedese 13, which is one of the famous neighborhoods, but it's a lot of gangs and riots, and it's a very beautiful country. It's a very beautiful city, the neighborhood, because paintings all over the place. But I've watched TV, I've watched Netflix, and I work for the government, and I was like, this is not a good idea. He convinced me. We went, and They say I look Colombian. So these kids kept on coming up to me, and I asked the tour guide after I took a photo of one of them, and I still have the photo to this day. I said, "Oh, are they on summer break? You know, like or not summer break? Is there summer break in November?" And I said, "You know, what are they doing out playing?" Right. And he laughed and he said, "What are you talking about? These kids don't have families. They don't have homes. They're asking for pictures, hoping that you take the picture and give them money, then they can go feed their brother and sister." And that was on November 7th, 2018. And that day, I didn't tell a single soul. That day, I said, I am going to be a father to Colombian children. End of story. Now, Jim, I didn't know how that was going to happen. I didn't think I could contact the president of the country and say, give me a child. I didn't know anybody in the adoption world. But that day, I made up my mind, and I knew that one day I would be a single father under my choice, and because that's what I wanted to do. And it was going to be a Colombian child. Fast forward 2020, one of my old supervisors so everything goes back to the military, if you could tell. My supervisor, Pat Dickerson, hello to her if she's watching. She adopted, as a single woman, she's adopted around 3 or 4 children, and I was able to meet them. And she sent me a text message earlier year, January 2020. And remember, this is 2021 and I'm already a father. So it went very quick. She sent me a text message and said, "What are you waiting for?" I said, "What am I waiting for?" She said, "Your time is now to adopt." She did not realize that I had just watched a movie called Instant Family, and it's a movie about adoption and foster parenting. After she said that, my heart dropped, and I said, I'm going to be a father. I don't know how, I don't know when. I started going, and you know, when you watch TV and you watch movies, when you go to your Facebook, magically it pops up. So things start popping up about international adoption. What a coincidence. So something came up. Yeah, something came up that said Kid Save. I clicked Kid Save and it said they had a weekend program. I'm like, yes, I'm going to be a weekend host dad once a month. I'm going to crush it. I'm going to be foster dad of the year. And they said, you have to live in Los Angeles. I'm going to move to Los Angeles. Oh, crap. I can't. I have a job. I can't do that. So I said, well, I can't do it. And then next thing I did was scroll down and it said international hosting. And after the show, you can Google Kid Save, and all this is true. Yeah. And I looked down at international hosting, Jim, and the one country that Kid Save, the first organization I went to learn more about, the country that they had an international hosting partnership was the Kid Save Summer Miracles program, and they had a partnership with Colombia. I'm getting chills right now. I knew this was for me. And January of last year, and like I said, for those who have adopted and know how difficult it is, this is not a 5-year story. It just happened last January 2020. And February, I started the process to become a host parent. They said it's going to be very difficult to match you because you are a single male, and a lot of the children want a mother and father. Fast forward to March, April, I had not been matched. And I was like, oh, well, my dreams, there it goes. And then May, they contacted me and said, would you mind hosting 2 siblings? One, they said, no, 2. I said, but I'm single. I only have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo. I can't be approved. They said, yes, you can. Here are their pictures. Why did you send me their pictures? Why did you send me their biographies? Oh my gosh. Santiago and Julian were looking at me in that picture saying, hey, Dad, when are you coming to get us? Because we're meant to be a family. And literally May, I made the decision 24 hours later to host them. Super, super happy, super excited, getting the bedroom ready in the middle of a pandemic. And then I received the phone call. We're sorry, Steve. The program has been postponed until December. And then it was going to be potentially postponed and canceled until the following year. So that was June of 2020. Remember, 2020. That was just last year. And then June 2020, I was there and I was discouraged, crying because I felt like I had lost my children. And I had already put it, I wish I had the pictures over there. I had already put a painting in our bedroom, in the kids' bedroom, that said Stephen, Santiago, Julian, Colombia, USA 2020. And the adoption agency said, Mr. McCall, you don't want to do that because this is not guaranteed. I said, yes, it is. I said, on my phone, I had my boy's pictures since April and May of last year. And next thing that happened was August 19th, they contacted me and said, August 20th, you're going to have a Zoom call of virtual hosting. So I was able to meet them face to face for the very first time on August 20th of 2020, just last year.
Wow.
As you can tell, my job for Congress, great. But this part of my life, this is my life. And it's surreal that I am a father when I just started the process last year.
It's amazing how some of this has happened. There seems to be a theme here. When you thought you were going to possibly maybe have this opportunity, then the person says, no, you're not only going to get that, but we're going to give you this. We're going to promote you to this. You're going to become this. This opportunity, okay, I think I'm going to dabble into this. No, you're not just going to have that, but we're also going to give you this. It seems as like everything is doubled and everything is enhanced.
Yes.
And there's a theme there, and I think it's incredible.
Thank you. You're definitely right. Everything has been increased. Every opportunity that I've had since that sergeant, when I was around 20 years old, everything, every expectation, every dream, every impossible that I thought was impossible, everything has turned into a reality, but a reality that I didn't even think was possible. When I wanted to become a father deep down inside, and I was ready for one, I now have two amazing boys. And when I tell you they're amazing, I'm not saying that, Jim, because we're on TV. You can see the videos on my YouTube channel. People who've spent time with us, they say, wow, your boys are really happy. And are you sure you adopted them? They act exactly like you. Right. I said, no, they act and look similar to me, but no, they're adopted. But it was just meant to be. And yes, it was double. It was a double blessing. And I am very, very honored. I tell people when they say you are a gift to them, I say, yes, I'm a gift to them, but they are a gift to me. And my boys asked me, and I do want to mention this, my boys asked me a few months ago, were you happier without companions? And the Google Translate, I do speak Spanish, but not fully, not fluently. And what they said, or what they meant was, were you happier without kids being single? And I looked at them and they looked me dead in my eyes. And I said, well, Santiago and Julian, before I became a father, I was very happy. I didn't have a void. I wasn't depressed. I wasn't crying every night. I wasn't saying, if I don't hurry up and have kids, I'm going to, drink myself to death. I told them I was very content and I was happy being single. And if I never had kids, I was perfectly okay. I said, but now that you're in my life, if I didn't have you two, I would die. I can't live without my kids. And that has been true through the ups, the downs. Thankfully, we don't have many down days, but every now and then we bump heads. And I have a solution to all the parents out there. Write this down. This is a hack. This is some secret mission 007, top secret. Yeah, a top secret McCall information. When your kids get on your nerves or they irritate you, always remember you irritate them also. You get on their nerves also. And when they get on your nerves, for me, because I don't have little babies, I have one teenager and one preteen, tell them I'll be back in 2 or 3 hours, go to a certain location, and then take a picture of you in the spa, send it to them and smile and say, I love you. And when you come back home, everything's fine. So that's the way I deal with the down days. I just go to the spa.
That's a great McCall tip.
Yes.
I love that.
You have to put on your own oxygen mask. And being a single parent.
That so much on this show. I had to learn how to do that. We've had conversations about it. It took me driving alone after a TV shoot, alone in a rental car after the shoot and everybody dispersed. And I've mentioned it multiple times on the show, alone through Death Valley, to realize that you do have to put the mask on yourself first. I've always been raised and of the ilk and of the belief, help thy fellow man, put the mask on them first. And then if there's anything left, I will So whenever I was on an airplane, I would hear it and I'd be like cringing. No, 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 that's selfish. So you can't, it's egotistical. No, 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 no. Help that other person first. Don't just grab the mask. But now I understand that you have to have it on you and they have to have it on them, and then help each other from there. Takes time to learn that when you're always the caretaker type, where you're always running to the aid of everybody and making sure everybody else has what they need, then tending to yourself. But you gotta put out your own fire first before you run with the bucket. I'll be over there. I will be over there with my bucket, but I got some things smoldering here. I need to tend to it first, and then I'll come over with the bucket. I used to go over with the bucket to them first.
Jim, you and me are exactly the same. For the past 3 decades, I've always taken care of other people first. I didn't have vacations for probably 8-9 years because I'm always taking care. I'm always giving to other organizations, charities, churches. But if I'm not mentally healthy and mentally stable and emotionally strong, I can't be an effective parent. And I have two with two personalities. They both need attention. They both have energy, just like me. And we're a very active family. We've been all over the world in the past 7 months, from Mexico to Cartagena, Colombia, to New York City, a couple of times to Florida, to North Carolina. We just went to Williamsburg last week. So we travel a lot. But with that, that was in Florida in our convertible. That was a surprise. And my children have learned they weren't surprised. They're like, of course, Dad, we are McCalls.
What was the surprise? The trip or the convertible?
the surprise. Yeah. The surprise was the convertible. So I include them in all the decisions. If they don't want to go to Florida, we don't go. So we make a decision as a team. So anything we do, we always make the decision. That picture is in Colombia. And that was right after we went to court. Due to COVID, it wasn't court. We stood outside of court. But that was 2 days after we became the official McCall family on February 1st of 2020. Oh my gosh, this year. Yeah. I'm sorry. This year we became a family. So that picture,
17 months, we've lost track of all the days and months.
I know. So it's just important for me to take care of myself. And I also told them, I said, if you need time, whether it's going to ride your bike, if you need time to yourselves, it's okay not to clean the bathroom. It's okay not to clean the kitchen. I will clean the kitchen. I will cook. I will wash the clothes. I know, and I'm still learning, when they get frustrated during virtual school and they're learning English, I had to have mercy on them and have a little grace and say, okay, this is difficult. This is a challenging situation. So I was working from home because we're teleworking, cooking breakfast, monitoring both boys on virtual school. Then I'm still answering members of Congress, the members of Congress questions. It was a balancing act. But at that time, they needed to put on an oxygen mask. And that meant I had to step up and do a lot of the chores around the house because they were in virtual school for 7 hours a day. How can I expect them after virtual school to wash and cook and clean and do chores? No, I'll vacuum your room. They're like, no, Dad. I said, you all have been in school for 7 hours. You're learning English. You're learning our culture. This is a new country. You don't even know who the president is at that time. I am here to help you. And I'll tell you, Jim, and this is not a fairy tale. This could be many parents' stories. When I do go to the spa, because we have a no screaming rule in the house. So there's been no screaming from me. Now, if they want to scream, they haven't. But if they raise their voice, that's okay. But I'm not allowed to. That's just Steve McCall 101. I have learned through my previous marriage, screaming does not work. And I take full responsibility. I used to scream. I don't scream anymore because I learned that does not work, and that does not help marriages, and that does not help stepchildren. So this new and improved Steve that has learned from life's lessons, there's no screaming rule in my house. But what they learned is when I get frustrated or irritated, because they're boys, and I do go to the spa, I take the picture. Last time was 3 weeks ago, and Santiago said, really, Dad, the spa again? You just went 2 weeks ago. I said, I have 2 kids. So it requires 2 spa treatments. When I came back, Jim, I wasn't mad at them. I wasn't irritated. I just was tired. I just needed a 2-hour break to get a massage. I was tensing my shoulders because I wanted to make sure I was 100% for them. I lied to you not. I came home, dishes were washed, Dinner was being prepared. The entire house, I should have sent you that picture. The entire house was clean from top to bottom.
That would have been a good picture.
I do have, yeah. I did not ask that. And that's why I fight for my children. I do everything for them. I don't mind washing their clothes, because when I get tired, and I do get tired, my children they'll cook dinner. Santiago this morning, I had a report due to Congress, and it's going to be published tomorrow. And so everybody can see it. It's called Spaces and Warfighting Domain Issues for Congress. And it's going to be, I think, published around noon tomorrow. I had a deadline to meet.
Where can they see that when it comes out?
Yes, you can Google Stephen, Stephen, McCall, and you can put CRS, Congressional Research Service reports. So I think it's crsreports.gov. But if you type in my name, trust me, it comes up. So I had a big deadline, and I went on the patio. I was tired, and we played soccer yesterday, and I played tennis, and my knee swelled up because I am over 40, but I have 2 children who think I'm 20. So I'm still active. I was on the patio trying to finish the assignment, and Santiago had soccer at 9 o'clock. Julian had not woken up. I had to finish this report, and I was like, what's that smell? He's like, Dad, breakfast is ready. He brought out the eggs to me because he knows how to cook eggs very well. He said, would you like Colombian coffee? He knows how to make my coffee. And after he took care of me, I ate, I hit send to the review office, and then I start taking care of him. I made sure he got to soccer. He gave me a hug. I said, I love you, and I'll see you at 11:30. Then I came home, and Julian was cleaning the room, and I said, hey, mijo, I could have went straight back to work, but I said, I'm going to take an extra 15 minutes and then work later in the day. So I worked the extra 15 minutes at the end of the day, and I cooked them eggs. Nice. He had bread. He had his banana nectar, whatever it is, juice, and he was taken care of. I said, is everything okay? Because he's here by himself. And then he went to go play video games, and then I went to work.
Sherry Larson in Kansas says, where were you 12 years ago when my kids were teens?
Well, so
that's beautiful. And really, Merlin wants to know if the kids, how old the kids are, and are they totally healthy? How the kids are doing. Merlin in Canada asked that question.
Yes, hello, Marilyn from Canada. The boys are 15 and 12 years old, and yes, they are healthy and smiling. I guess it's definitely a rare situation, but they're very healthy. That's really it. They're healthy, and they're very intelligent. They're number 2 and 3 in their schools in Colombia. So when they got here, I just had to encourage them. This is a different country. It's a different language. If you're not number 1 or 2 in the school, it's perfectly okay. And that is me. Yeah. Yes. When I launched my website. That was for the photo shoot before we launched the brand, the SM brand. And SM is, of course, my name, but it's also Santiago McCall, and it's also Julian Stephen McCall, the SM. They point that out all the time. And on the website, if you visit, Santiago's favorite part of the website is not my picture, not my mission statement, not my story, not anything. His favorite part is under team, where his photo is, because he is my social media director. Yeah. But yes, those are my boys in New York City on one of our adventures. Sure.
He's been busy blasting out the link to this episode of the Jim Masters Show Live, I presume, and doing a fabulous job of it. We thank him very much for that.
Yes, he did the Instagram. He did the Instagram for me. He did the lighting. He made sure I had the right backdrop.
He did your set there for you and everything. He did.
Yeah, he made sure. Yes, so he helps
the blue that's at the top of the shades there. Got
Thank you.
Blue coming in. Cool
yes,
stuff.
Those are our movie lights. So after the Jim Masters TV show, I have to take off the playwright and the author hat, and I put on the dad hat, and we're going to have our movie night. And that's something else I really encourage parents. Nice. I don't have a perfect life. My kids are not perfect. I am not perfect. We're not trying to pretend to be perfect, but there are certain things you can do as a parent that can ease the transition in life. So we have movie night 7 days a week. And people are like, you're a bad parent. Well, you could say that, but we have movie night every single night. And if it's not a movie, we'll watch a 30-minute episode. We put technology down. We put iPads down. We put the Xbox down. We put our cell phones down, and we spend time as a family. And we do that literally 7 days a week. And I told them, even when they're in school, even if it's after homework, and even if they're tired, even if it's for a 10-minute YouTube video. Maybe it's they love rap. Maybe it's a rap competition. We're going to spend time as a family. And that's very important to me because I receive my blessings and my treasures late in life. So I don't have 18 years to build memories. So people, some say, well, you need to slow down. No, ma'am. No, sir. I am not slowing down. Tomorrow's not promised. Something can happen to me tomorrow.
As we've learned in the last year or so, right? Life is precious, short, and it's meant to be lived and cherished.
And we live it to the fullest.
And I don't hear a bad parent there at all. I mean, movie night every night, that's fantastic. I mean, the kids are not on the streets. They're not doing this, that, and the other. They're there. It's a family unit. They're in a safe, comfortable environment, roof over their heads, food in the refrigerator. I mean, movie night, that's fantastic, you know? And like you say, they're off the Xbox and the other things, and you guys are spending time with one another. There's a lot of families who don't do that, and that family unit, that feeling of family, doesn't exist as strongly as it used to years ago, and that has effect on kids, effect on society, and everything. So I think it's beautiful what you're doing. Absolutely. And Maureen in Arizona says it's amazing that when kids are nurtured and loved the way you nurture and love your boys, how they blossom into incredible young humans. Well done, Stephen. Cynthia in DC, movie night. And Christine, finding this to be very inspirational, incredible stories. You represent what we always talk about here on the show, levity. And that's true.
I am a levity now. I'm officially a levity.
He's a levity. All the awards and accolades and everything else one can get to get a levity on the Jim Masters Show live. Are your feet tingling right now, Stephen?
They are. I want to give my acceptance speech. I wasn't sure if I was going to get Tony first or a levity. I'm very excited that I received my levity tonight.
You got that levity first. Exactly. And it's something you can take with you literally for the rest of your life. I got some more cool photos here. Look at this.
Oh, let me talk. Can I talk about this real quick?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So Dig Deep, I guess we'll talk soon, but Dig Deep, my show, my first off-Broadway debut, and I say it's off-Broadway. I think it's off-Broadway theater. So my sponsor is Holly Hassett from Washington, D.C. She has supported me in my adoption. On Christmas Day, Christmas Day last year, she invited me to a restaurant before, the adoption. And we went there and I said, it was during COVID. And she said, here's a Christmas present. I said, oh, Holly, you don't have to give me a present. And she gave me a little Santa Claus because the boys and I had virtual Santa Claus treasure hunts. And we did a whole bunch of stuff on the virtual Zoom calls, from going to Barcelona to Argentina or Spain. We did everything that you could imagine on a virtual Zoom. So she gave me a Santa Claus and said, this is to add to your collection for the Santa Claus hunt that you did with your boys on Christmas Eve, except we did it virtual. And I said, oh, thank you, Holly. Okay, let's order food. And she said, I think Santa Claus left something out. I said, what are you talking about? She said, look in the bag. And Jim, like I said, I don't cry often. I opened up the bag, and I wish I had it, but I put out a check for clothes. And I make very good money, but adoption's expensive. And I didn't have a lot of financial support. I had grants. And I thank all the grant organizations. If you're watching, thank all the grants. Helped us adopt, and all these other adoption agency grants that gave me money. Holly had written out a check for $5,000 US. And I start crying and weeping like a baby. And I said, Holly, I cannot accept that. Even though in my heart, I'm like, oh, why are you saying that? You need this money. You're not rich, you idiot. What are you doing? But I'm not used to receiving. I'm used to giving and giving and giving. And Holly Hassett blessed me that day with $5,000, and it's still going. The kids are growing, and that money is still helping pay for their school clothes. And then she said, I have another surprise for you. I want you to come to Palette 22, one of our favorite restaurants in the Theater District of Washington, D.C. I think it's Alexandria or Fairfax. And I showed up, and she had this painting painted of me and the boys. And we were eating, and it's a pretty large restaurant. And next thing you know, Santiago is like, Dad, look. And we turned around, and this humongous painting of me, Santiago, and Julian was there hanging in the restaurant, and people are like, "Oh my God, that's you! We were wondering who that famous family is." So now my kids think we're famous. They say we're famous, and I tell them, "Yes, we are the McCalls. We are famous. We're a household name to maybe 5 or 6 households, and now Africa and Australia and Canada and the Perth, right? Perth.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
hey, we're a worldwide known name. So that's the painting that we have in our house that reminds us of who we are, how we became a family, and it represents their country colors because now they are officially American citizens and Colombian citizens. So we are a Colombian American family. So that's where she got the inspiration for the colors. And I thank the painter for painting it. She's amazing also.
That's really, really cool to come across something like that, huh? She was obviously very inspired as well to do
Yes.
that, you know?
Yes. Yep. It was, it touched my heart. And I
Yeah.
told the boys, I don't know too many families that has a professional painting of themselves. And we went to the National Art Gallery the other week, right before going to eat. And we looked at, the different presidents' paintings and all the famous people. And of course, me and my boys were like, why isn't our painting in here? Like, where are we at? We didn't see our painting because it is in a national treasure in our own home. But I'm pretty sure one day it will end up hanging in some art studio because my boys, especially Santiago, is determined he's going to be world renowned and world famous soccer player or Hollywood actor.
You heard it here first on the Jim Master Show live.
On the
Gotcha.
Jim Master Show.
Got
Yes.
another cool photo here. Look at this one.
Oh, so people who adopt, they usually come home right away. My boy's dream and my mission for the SM brand is really turning impossibilities into reality and really encouraging people, don't give up on your dreams, live your dreams, and don't allow people to tell you no. So I asked my boys what their dream was, and they said, we always wanted to go to a beach. I know this is crazy, but during COVID, every single family came back home. I'm thankful for them, but I want to surprise my boys and allow them to experience the beach in their own country first. So during COVID, during lockdowns in Colombia, we bought plane tickets from Bogota to the Caribbean coast of Colombia and Cartagena, Colombia, and we stayed at the Blue Apple Resort. So this is at the Blue Apple Resort. The resort just was so amazing. They gave us a cabana. We had a private splash pool. We had the main pool. Because of COVID, there weren't many people there. We almost had the entire private island resort to ourselves. And that was their first time experiencing the beach. So I got a lot of amazing pictures. And yes, in Cartagena, we had movie night every single night.
That is fantastic. That is so awesome. I love that. And you guys, how do you decide what the movie is going to be?
So Friday night, I'm not sure if this is legal. I'm not sure if I get in trouble. But Friday night is a terror night. So the movies usually are going to make you jump, make you scared, probably give you some nightmares. They love horror movies. I love horror movies.
Yeah.
Yes. So Friday night is called the Friday. We say it in Spanish, but la película terror is Friday nights. And then the other nights we just decide. So even on our bike adventures, we never know where we're going. I asked them, do you like adventures? And they said, yes. So every single bike adventure we go on, we get on our bikes and we go outside, we put our helmet on, and we literally look around and say, which way are we going? And we have ended up in different parts of Maryland. The last bike adventure, I think it was around 4 or 5 weeks ago, we ended up at the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C., and that is not close. No. And then on our way back, we always find some cool little restaurant and we pig out. And then after we pig out, then our bodies are tired and we realize we still have to come home. So we like living a life of adventure, and we really do, whether it's the bike rides, whether it's a movie. Tonight, I have no idea what movie we're watching or what series we're watching, but we'll figure it out later.
It's amazing. It's really, really cool. I love it. I love it. I think everybody's saying, can you adopt them too?
I get that a lot on Facebook. They said, can you adopt us also? I'm like, I have 2 kids. That's enough. And I
It's
am
a good.
not. People ask me if I'm going to adopt again. My kids ask me if I ever want to adopt, and I'm really serious, Jim. My first time becoming a parent, it's been lovely, and I know there are challenges that come in life. I don't deny that, but I wouldn't want to adopt again or have children of my, biological children, because I love my boys as my own, and they're good enough. They're my life. So
Yeah. Absolutely, which is a beautiful thing to say, and I'm sure, they love hearing that. And that's it. Just a testament to who you are. Here's another great shot here, and that was at Universal,
ah,
huh?
yes, Universal Studios. We had tons of fun. We spent time with Jalen Arnold. He created a foundation called Jalen's Challenge, and he started the foundation at 9 years old. So if you are looking for a charity, go to Jalen's Challenge, jalenschallenge.org. He was honored by the Queen of England, I believe, 2 years ago. His mom's Robin, and Nina, and his father's Neil. So we spent the day with them at Universal Studios, and we had a blast. We did wear our masks, for the people who are wondering.
Yeah.
We wore our mask at Universal Studios, but we had an amazing time at Universal. We rode the rides, and thankfully we were able to get a fast track pass to ride all the rides first, and we'd have to wait in the long lines for 3 and 4 hours.
I
And
have
we
a
just
question.
had, yes,
Who is more of the kid, you or them? Because it really
me.
sounds like you've transported to childhood again.
Yes.
Yes, I can
Yes.
tell.
So my before 9, and even after 9, my life was an adventure. So my mom is adventurous. She's also a playwright, in her time, and she's a poet. So she's a very creative person. So when I was growing up, we had movie nights, we had scavenger hunts, we had magic shows every day. Even when I had Tourette syndrome, it was challenging, but my mom always had fun in the picture all the time. So when I went to my friends' houses, I didn't want to go to my friends' houses because they had boring lives. No offense, but their parents didn't allow them as much flexibility. And many people would tell my mom, "You're going to regret it. You're not hard enough on Steve, and just wait till he grows up." Well, me and my brother are both senior. Well, my brother's a senior official for the United States government, also Larry, and we turned out pretty good. We turned out okay. I have an attitude sometimes. I can be kind of irritating if I'm put in the 50th row in coach. If
Or
I don't get
somebody
the right
cuts you
upgrade.
off on the highway, or
Oh, Jim. Oh, yeah. My kids know me. They're like, no, don't cut our dad
don't cut him
off,
off.
please. So it is the kid in me, but I've been like this my entire life, and I think that's where I've always tried to change who I was, and I did change who I was for 20 years. I was in the church, in a Pentecostal church. No offense to the churches, but I was in a Pentecostal church. And they wanted me to be somebody I was not. And then during my marriage, I was trying to be a husband that I was not, and I wasn't as adventurous. I wasn't as creative. After, the marriage dissolved and I, healed completely, I said, I'm about to live life and do adventure. And I took a backpack, Jim, in November of 2018. I was 40 years old with a backpack. Now I'm used to the Beverly Hills Wilshire Hotel. Like, really? Or the Beverly Hills Hilton. I'm used to the Ritz-Carlton. I took a backpack to South America and stayed in hostels. Now, the hostel I found was a 5-star hostel. So I can't show you a picture of that because it takes away from me staying in a hostel. But I stayed in a hostel for 5 days, and we went to Peru, and all with the backpack. So when I was going to adopt, that was my concern. I said, I really want children who will smile even through adversity, and also who really want a life of adventure. And I tell you, I'm a big kid, but you should see my kids. We're like three, what is it? 3 pods, or I don't know, 3 bears. We're 3. We're like 3 twins, and
3
we
peas in a
love
pod type thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
3 peas in a pod. And we love adventure, and the boys love adventure. And I was testing them out at first. But when we did our virtual hosting, I had the airline set up on the TV, and I said, let me see how they respond. I said, we're going to go to Spain and Barcelona, and we went to Brazil. And I had everything planned out. I had my speech for the airline in Spanish. I had the airline in my background. And I said, I'm going to tell the boys, this is now the time to buckle your seatbelts. And I knew I was going to have to tell them to pretend. Jim, I'll never forget it. When I was doing the security announcement, I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'll say in English, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the McCall Airlines for you to please buckle your seatbelts as we prepare for takeoff. And right at the split second when I was going to tell them to pretend, you know what Santiago did? Santiago went like this. He's like, Julian, tu cinturón, your seatbelt. And they both went like that and they put on their seatbelt. They said, all right, listos, we're ready. We're ready for takeoff. I'm getting chills right now. I was like, oh my gosh, you all are crazy and creative and imaginative like me. I really can't wait till you come home. And literally, our days are full of creativity. After this, I could end up having a Nerf gun fight. It's the advantage of being a single parent. I can give all my attention, and one day I want to get remarried. Possibly. But for now, I am enjoying being a big kid. And when it's time for school and when it's time for soccer, I am the father and they have structure. But when all that's done, I'm like, let's find time to have fun and have an adventure. So yes, I am a big kid and I am the daredevil that that encourages them to get on the roller coasters. And we just got back from Busch Gardens. And they were riding every single roller coaster 2 and 3 times to the point where I said, okay, I'm 43. I can't handle it anymore. And nobody has ever made me stop riding roller coasters, but they kept on going and going and going and riding the same rides. And I said, I can't do it anymore. I'm mentally drained and I'm scared.
It's funny. Hey, look at this. Tell us about this too.
Oh, wow. Yes, that is the Tyrannosaurus tick, Boy's Adventure with Tourette Syndrome. I wrote it back in 2008. That is how I met June Rachelson Aspa. Hello to her. We had brunch with her and her husband, Jerry, yesterday. Yesterday. So I wrote this book about my life with Tourette Syndrome around age 12 and 13 and the challenges I had growing up with Tourette Syndrome. And one of my friends growing up, and that's when I learned to kind of use humor to get through life situations. She would tell me, Steve, in 10th grade, she said, Steve, stop that Tyrannosaurus Rex. I'm like, LaRonda, it's not Tyrannosaurus Rex. It is Tourette syndrome. I know. I said Tyrannosaurus syndrome. I know. Yeah. And what she was trying to show me is, Steve, it's okay that you have a disorder. It's okay that you might look different than others, but have fun. So back then I said, if I ever write a book, I'm going to call it The Tyrannosaurus Tick. And that was my first book. It turned into a musical that has been delayed due to COVID. And then from the book of me being 13, it turned into Dig Deep, my current project, talking about Tourette syndrome, but as a military airman.
Tell us about that. That's exciting. I know you've been putting a lot of heart and soul and work into it. This is coming up at the time of this broadcast in October. Yes. Tell us about this.
Yes, so I will be making my off-Broadway debut at the Triad Theater. Thank you. At the Triad Theater, New York City. I don't know the location, but it's in New York City. You can Google it. And it's a piece called Dig Deep. So Lauren Whitner, she was my dramaturg, and I hate that word, Jim. I probably just messed it up, but if it's pronounced dramaturg, I know how to spell it though. She was she was collaborating with me on a solo show, and then we're going to eventually turn it into a full-length musical. Unfortunately, Lauren Whitner, she passed away last April or May, as you are aware, and she was just an amazing soul. And she on her deathbed, she worked on this song called Dig Deep. And when I did my launch of the SN brand, StephenMcCall.com with Sylvia Hope, my branding manager, and she is just a creative genius. She is ridiculous. But she said, you need to go to the Triad Theater. I'm like, fine, whatever. I'll call them. I did not realize what the venue was. I was just being obedient to my branding manager because she knows more than me about the New York theater. So I contacted Triad Theater. They looked at my website and said, your material looks great. We'd love to have you. And long and behold, I got a Friday night at 7 p.m., which is unheard of. I have not been on stage in New York City ever. I have always wanted to go Broadway, but my voice does not cooperate with me when I try to go on Broadway. So my dream was to make a Broadway appearance. So I'm a couple stops away from Broadway at the Triad Theater. And I don't want to say too much, but it starts off very, very, it starts off in a dark place. Sure. But I take the audience on the journey of when I was in that dark room and how I was able to use that transition or that situation and that tension to transition to greatness and to transition from adversity and turn that into a reality, to turn my impossibility into the future of my life, which is what I'm living now. So the show also includes Dig Deep. Like I said, Lauren Whitner wrote it. We collaborated on it along with Ryan McCurdy. And she finished it literally on her deathbed a week before. And Ryan and I are working on it now. So we're going to actually feature a small portion of Dig Deep. And when Sylvia said, well, you need to come to Triad and you need to finish your one-man show or your solo show, I said, well, I need a name. And I said, oh, Dig Deep, turning impossibles into reality, empowering the audience that no matter what your life situation is, you too can dream big. And not only dream, because many people dream and never accomplish their dreams, but if you dig deep and you really hold on and you get rid of all the negative energy and negative comments around you and believe in yourself and you dig deep and you put your feet in the sand, you too can live your impossibles and it will be reality. So we're going to feature the song Dig Deep. I'm also working on another song with a guest artist, a composer who is also working on a musical in New York City. I can't say his name right now. So we're going to have that and that song and Dig Deep, in addition to various pieces of my solo show, ending with the Q&A. It is going to be amazing. I am promoting my own show now, but I'm excited, Jim, because it's not until October 22nd. I received the email from the CEO today of Triad Theater, New York City. And he said, Steve, your show is not until the end of October and your entire front section is sold out. So I apologize. I don't apologize. We're actually not announcing the official show until this week. But when we do announce it, I do apologize, but the front section has been sold out and we are selling tickets fast. So do not wait until the week before because you will miss this opportunity.
So how are people getting the tickets for it to be selling out? Are they going online to get
it? Yes, on my website on StephenMcCall.com, my branding manager, Sylvia, has this beautiful pop-up that goes there. So when you go to the website, it pops up that flyer and it has a Triad Theater logo or the button. Yeah. They click there and people have been buying it. So one of my friends who I can't say his name, but he is a very prominent leader of our country. I sent him the link only because he's a mentor. He's a close friend and I didn't want to blindside him. And he doesn't live in New York City. I sent him the text only for his eyes. And I said, I just want to let you know I'm making my stage debut with my performance of Dig Deep. I want you and your family to know. 10 minutes later, he said, Mr. McCall. I said, you can call me Steve. Yeah. He said, we bought the entire front row. What about my kids? So they have the entire front row. Quickly, Dr. Janie Lacey, she is a motivational speaker. She's America's favorite psychotherapist, and she's always on TV and, the ABCs and Today shows. I told her, I said, hey, Dr. such and such, purchased the entire front row. And she was working on a show, I believe, at the time. So she took a break and then she purchased the next 4 rows. So the whole middle section are going to be very special guests of mine, to include the famous Santiago and Julian Stephen McCall. And then the other seats are filling quicker than not that I expected. It's just we have not made the official announcement on social media. So when we do make the announcement on, I believe it's August 16th or August 17th, the tickets are going to go fast. And I told my branding manager, I expect us to have a sold out performance of the 115 seats. So please, if you're in New York City, I am not a good promoter of my own show. That's why I hired somebody. But because I'm on the Jim Master Show, please come out, and not only to have an amazing afternoon, but maybe you have some goals that you don't really think you can accomplish. I promise you, you are not only going to be motivated, you're going to be empowered. Your children are going to be empowered to go home, write down the goals. They say only 93% of people never write down their goals.
That's
the
very
7%,
true. And 99% of diets fail.
Yes. That's why I have on black, because my diet has failed miserably, and I have 2 kids. That's my main excuse.
As you know, they said we had to be 6 feet away from each other during this pandemic, but they failed to mention we're supposed to be 10 feet away from our refrigerators.
Yes, and right now I'm around 8 feet away from my refrigerator. So, but yes, I'm very excited, Jim. I'm just
cool.
ecstatic.
It's exciting. I just want to show you, Stephen, some of the great commentary that's been coming in as we've been talking. There's been a lot of it too. And Maureen in Arizona, who's been inspired, one of our regular viewers, Lovities from Arizona, USA. She says, your journey through life and been filled with challenges, yet you have risen above them all. And I think that's beautiful. And look where you are now. I have nothing but great respect for you. I love that. And Alessandra in North Carolina says, I've written down my goals and I'm determined to reach each of my goals. Cynthia in Washington, D.C. Stephen, your boys are truly blessed to have you as their dad. Thank you, Stephen, for being such an inspiration to us all. God bless you and your family. She wants to know where the boys are now because the house seems so quiet.
Yes. Hold on. Santiago, Julian.
That's Merlin in Ontario, Canada.
I will. Let's see if they can make a surprise entrance. They usually photobomb me and make surprise entrances. So let's see if they come. But they are.
Says this is such a wonderful show, and Christine Clifton in North Carolina, loving every minute of this conversation. Jim and Stephen.
Let's say hello real quick. All right, here's Julian.
Hey, hello, how are you?
How are you, Julian? Welcome to the show.
He said, "How are you?"
I'm good.
Good. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You too. And Santiago is, come on. Santiago is, his hair is not ready, but he said, hello.
Bad hair day, right?
Yeah, he says hello to you, Mr. Jim.
Hello.
And he said, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet him. And the audience already dubbed them as much as you. They're Lovities too now. They're Lovities.
Oh, okay. I would definitely let them know.
Austin Field says, another excellent show. Thank you very much. Cynthia Catherine Howard says, Stephen, your spiritual life can take you many paths. You embrace what feels right for you and your boys, and that's exactly what you're doing. I love it. This is really, really nice. And
thank you.
Yeah, it's cool stuff. These comments are like, what a loving, beautiful gift. You're doing a great job being a dad. And, you're full of passion and love. And of course, our friend June. Hi, you guys. Good to see you, June. We got to get together too.
Hello, June.
Yeah, she moved south. She left us all up here in the north. Thank you for sharing your life with us, Stephen. Great show. That's Kathleen in New York City. Alessandra was saying hi to the boys. Jen Barry in Allentown, Pennsylvania was saying hello as well. Juanita in South Africa was saying hi, boys. Welcome to Lovity.
Wow, South Africa. That's amazing.
Welcome to Lovity Hall. And Christine in North Carolina, hello, boys, as well. And Cynthia in D.C. says, hi, Julian. Hi, Santiago. Cool stuff. Sometimes towards the end, I do ask the guests, what are some of the blessings and joys in their life to propel them to do whatever it is they're doing in life that makes the world a better place, like I try to do as well. I think we just saw 2 of the blessings and joys. What are some other blessings and joys? It seems as though through thick and thin, there have been and continue to be many.
Yes, well, the joys in life are definitely my boys, but just being a role model, that really has encouraged me to push, not only for my boys, but for other kids out there who are like me. and who have challenges in life. And that really is my motivation. And every day I motivate myself, and I've been motivating myself for many decades. But that is my joys of life. I love writing. I love telling stories. I love storytelling. Without storytelling, I would be bored. So that really is the joy of my life, to be able to not only be a dad to two amazing boys, but then to be able to also share our lives with our YouTube fans and with Facebook and Instagram, and now through stage. That really is the joy of my life. And that was taken away from me many years in the church, because I had so many other priorities that I had to do as a church leader. And I was dying, Jim. So now that I am away from that, I still believe, I still am a very spiritual person, and I believe in the Lord. However, now it's under my terms, and I can write, I can play, I can be a big kid, I can premiere a stage musical, I can do a solo show. We want to do a family movie. Everything is possible. And this has only happened in the past 2 years. And people who saw me 3, 4, 5 years ago, I was around 220, 230 pounds. I looked very ill. And now I'm under 200. I'm going to cheat a little bit, because I think with COVID, I added a few pounds, but I'm around 200 pounds. And people who see me say, Steve, you are getting younger and you have a glow about you. And it's because of the joys of life. My 2 boys and writing and sharing my story. And I love entertaining people. So I commend you for what you do. Thank you so much for having the tenacity to bring life to situations, dead situations during the pandemic, because I'm pretty sure, Jim, you have saved many lives during this time, because people might not tell you, but when they watch your show, they probably are at the lowest point of their life. And then you always bring, the guests that you've had are amazing. And we are all in this together. Us Lovedies are able to help the other Lovedies build up. And when I'm down, then the other Lovedies bring me up. And then when I'm up on the mountain on October 22nd, then I can bring other Lovedies up. And we're all here for each other. So thank you for your over 417?
440.
I'm sorry. Yes, 440 episodes of your show. Thank you, because you really are changing lives. And I was very honored to say yes, of course, to Jim Masters. This is amazing. And I hope to meet you one day in person.
Absolutely. I really appreciate that. And I want to show you some of the comments coming in. Stephen, I am touched to the deepest part of my heart after listening to your story. The world is lucky to have you. I just want to hug you. And Juanita in South Africa, this was the most amazing, inspiring conversation. Thank you, Stephen, for spending time with us. Your life's journey. Take care and happy parenting. Alessandra in North Carolina says, yes, Jim has saved many lives here. Thank you very much, Alessandra. And Sherry Larson in Kansas. You're doing great, Dad. You and the boys are blessed to have each other. Absolutely. Yes. This was wonderful. And I hope the show did meet whatever expectations you had, and you enjoyed the time with me as much as I certainly have with you, Stephen.
Oh my gosh, this is way above I had very, very high expectations because of who you are. I hope I delivered it. I hope I was able to bring some smiles and a little laughter and some seriousness to the audience, because that's really, at the end of the day, I don't want them to remember me and my career. I want them to remember the adversity and the challenges that I've been able to overcome. And maybe you have adversity in your life, you too can overcome. So that's why I focus on the adversity and how I was able to overcome that and become a dad versus the resume, because the resume, it could be burnt up tomorrow. So that's really just not my life. It pays the bills. It allows me to travel the world, and it allows me to do the musical and do the one person show. So that's why, sorry, I talk more about my adventures with my boys and the play versus Congress. I love you, Congress, but that's during the day. And I am very honored. I am very honored to work as a senior staffer for Congress. I really am honored.
Absolutely. Christine Clifton says, Stephen, thanks for sharing your beautiful story with us. I give this episode thumbs up and hearts. Very inspirational show. Thanks, Jim. Absolutely. Alessandra, and thank you, Christine. Stephen, you have confirmed the fact that what I am dreaming of will come true. That's beautiful.
Yes, it will.
Juanita in South Africa says, Jim's web of lovity. I like that.
Nice.
For reaching and life and serving. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Merlin in Ontario, Canada says, tell Santiago, messy hair is in style.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So fun to see you with Jim. That's our June, of course. Joan Sandoz says, thank you, Stephen, for sharing your life with all of us. And of course, being so open to Beth Snipes. Welcome, Beth, to the Jim Master Show Live. Anybody new, welcome Beth. You. You've done it, Stephen. You've pushed to greatness. Absolutely. I agree. And anybody that was new first time, I hope you'll be with us again. This is what it's like every day. We do these shows just about 7 days a week here on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Cynthia in DC says, Jim has certainly been a godsend to us, Stephen, with this COVID-19. We would feel lost without Jim's shows. God bless you, Stephen, and the boys. That is absolutely beautiful. Thanks for all the levity, gang. You're really the best. I'm glad you enjoyed the show so much. And I have a sidekick here who also likes to watch and share a little levity too. George Burns was in the house.
Hey, George, how are you?
There he is. And he said, you did good, kid. You did good, kid.
Thank you. I've always wanted to meet him, so this is an honor.
Remember, he played God in the movie?
Yes.
So he sends his best as well, and so do I. We, I'm sure, will gather soon, my friend. It was a pleasure having you on the show, and thanks for all of the time and being, again, so open. And, of course, StephenMcCall.com is the website.
Yes.
Keep me posted. Let's stay in touch. Hopefully we will break bread real soon. And I think we're kindred spirits in the way we think about a lot of different things about life and the meaning of life and really what it's all about. Tracy gives hearts and claps. Tracy Coletti Flynn, thank you very much.
Hearts. I don't know how to give a heart, but
June says,
heart back.
TikTok Diner. That sounds good to me.
Yes, I love TikTok Diner. One of my favorites.
Good stuff. All right. And Cynthia is George Burns' #1 fan. You take care. And I say to all the guests, now get the circulation going and go stretch those legs.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. I'll be honest. Yes. I mean, this, when I saw an hour and a half, I said, I'm not going to last. This has felt like it was 15 minutes or 10 minutes. Thank you. You're an amazing interviewer.
I appreciate that, my friend. Everybody says it seems a lot quicker than it was when you look at the clock. You're like, what, an hour and 15 minutes? It's almost 2 hours now, an hour and 45 minutes. Unbelievable. All right. Well, you be well. And again, thanks for everything that you've shared. It's very inspirational. Before we go, if somebody is watching this right now live or they watch this later in the archives, what would be maybe one closing piece you could share with us for somebody who is struggling right now? There's a lot of people hurting in our world and in our country and a lot going on. Somebody who's been there, somebody who's triumphed over a lot of different things and continues to, and is inspiring others as a result. What would you say to them to help lift them up if right now they are saying, nothing will get me out of this, nothing, there's no hope for me, I'm done?
Yes, the one thing I would think is back when I was 19 years old and I had the gun to my head, maybe you have a gun, a knife, prescription drugs. My encouragement to you is you are worth you're worth living for. And we love you. If you don't love yourself, I didn't love myself at 19 years old, but I had the tenacity and the courage to keep on living because there is a brighter day coming. So for that person or the people who feel that, COVID has taken over their life and there's just no hope, there is hope. And I wish I could just stress that to everybody all over the world, whether West Africa, South Africa, Perth, Kansas, the West Coast, East Coast, South, North, there is a brighter day coming. And when I thought there wasn't a brighter day coming, even during the divorce, it was a very dark time. So even though there have been mountains and valleys in my life, every single time, Jim, when I felt like giving up, I woke up the next morning and I finally found that courage to keep on going. And imagine if I would have taken my life, where would my boys be today? So it's not only about us, it's about others. So hold on, because you too can help that other person struggling once you come out the valley, and you can help them when they're in the valley.
Beautifully said, my friend. Beautifully said. A good way to wrap this episode. Blessings again to you and the boys, and
Yes, thank you.
Continued joy with everything that you're doing. And we'll have you back. We'll keep the porch light on for you, okay?
All right, thank you. And remember, I am a Lovity, and I received my Lovity today. Next up is the Tony Award.
That sounds pretty good to me. And we'll be there for that, rooting you on.
Thank you.
And spread the word about our show. We would love that, Stephen.
I definitely will. It's been a pleasure.
My pleasure as well. You take care and have a good night, okay?
All right. Have a good night, Jim. Thank you. And good night to everybody.
Absolutely. All the lovities. Stephen McCall, again, StephenMcCall.com is the website if you'd like to learn more. And truly fantastic. Wasn't that fantastic having an opportunity to chat with him? I know a lot of you have been posting and saying that you're inspired. We love to do that all the time through all of the conversations we have, the rapport that you and I have as hosts and viewers or lovities, even when we just do our host lovity chats, our surprise pop-up shows, all the guests we have from Broadway and Hollywood, television, film, and theater and culinary arts, sports, comedy, inspiration, and so much more. All week long, we have an amazing array of incredible guests that are joining us. So continue to join us as well. If you'd like to see this episode again, we archive all of the episodes, all 400 and almost 440 of them now, day in and day out, right here on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Share the channel. Tell everybody you know about our entertainment lifestyle talk show series, where we're bringing back the lost art of conversation, old school style, like Dick Cavett and Johnny Carson and Merv Griffin, Mike Douglas, Dick Clark, with a modern twist and a modern vibe of today. We always have a good time. We always bring the viewers in when we're live, and we just love doing this. A lot of work behind the scenes to do it, but it's purely a great joy to do this nightly here for all of you. Sherry Larson says, thank you, Jim, for another wonderful evening. Great guest. Thank you for being with us in Kansas. Hey, we got a wowee from Juanita. That means she loved it. Wowee, Jim, what a great guest. Juanita in South Africa, you as well. Maureen in Arizona says, Jim, you really hit it out of the park with this one. All of your shows are fantastic, but wow, this one is incredible. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Kathleen in New York City, great show. Thanks, Jim. My pleasure. Kathleen in New York. Jane in Sweden says, thank you, Stephen. Toby in Encino, California says, I will have to watch the replay. Thank you for what you do, Jim. The pleasure is all mine. Love it. You guys are great with these comments. This is real Lovity land here, Lovity Hall for sure. Sherry Larson in Kansas says, thank you, Stephen. You're truly amazing. Cynthia Catherine Howard in Washington, D.C. Great words, Stephen. Thank you. So many of us have been there. Beautiful, beautiful. Glimpse of hope from Toby in California. Jim Howdy. Hello, Stephen. Alessandra in North Carolina. Thanks, Stephen. God bless you. And some care emojis coming from Merlin in Ontario, Canada, to you and your boys, Stephen. Good stuff. And Tracy, Coletti Flynn, thank you very much. And again, anybody just joining us for the first time, we would love it if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Click that notification bell so you never miss any of our amazing episodes we do here on the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show Series. If you missed this episode, don't fret. You can see them all on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. We've had so many people discovering the channel and subscribing and viewing and liking and posting. And don't forget, leave a comment on this episode on our YouTube channel. That really helps us big time. We would love that, because YouTube sees that and then they blast this out even further to more people around the world, all these episodes, and give us a thumbs up on our episode on our YouTube channel as well, if you truly enjoyed this episode of this show, which is designed to bring us all together. Some people said you're just doing this during the pandemic, and I'm like, hey, as long as you guys are there, we will be here for you. Come to Sweden and help me with my bad self-confidence. Yes, I know we've talked about that on the show, Jane. Kathleen Walker, back to work tomorrow, so I'll see you Thursday. It's a day game. Have a great night. And Christine says, Jim, I make Stephen a double lovety tonight, a global lovety kind of evening for sure. Fabulous, inspirational show. Thank you very much. From Christine and Juanita. Night, night, Mary. Good night, everyone. It is like this is like an episode of the Waltons where it's like, good night, John Boy. Good night. We don't say goodbye on this show. We just say, see you later. See you later. We're actually back on tomorrow's Tuesday, right? We're back on Wednesday. I actually have a television project I have to do tomorrow. So tomorrow we won't be here. However, you can binge watch all the episodes. We're back on Wednesday and we are very excited. We have an amazing guest. If you want to see some of the folks that are coming up, just go to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, and you can see a listing of some of the amazing people that are coming up. Ella Roberts, the brilliant singer, is going to be with us from Australia on Saturday night from Sydney, Australia. She and I worked with Tim Janis on a PBS special called Celtic Heart. I was involved in that. She was one of the performers as well. Kathleen Walker, thank you very much. That's our super emojis, super stickers. And thank you. That really helps the show. It allows us to deliver more content and upgrade everything that we've been upgrading. You've probably noticed some of the upgrades, the look and feel of the show, and there's so much more. We have some people that are really key that are working with us that I've brought in, animators and different people. We're really excited, and hopefully we'll roll that out in September for you. Lovely hugs. Thank you, Kathleen. That's what the super chat is all about, and that's a beautiful thing to do, Kathleen. You're always the best with that. And Jane says, good night, all lovely squad, Stephen and Jim. And you're slowly feeling like the new you. Good, because I know it's been tough for you lately, Alessandra. And the show is helping you sort of get in the groove again. I appreciate that. And keep watching JMS Live, Jane, according to Juanita. It does wonders for your confidence. Thank you very much. I think everybody, we all get boosted just being together, right? You took the words right out of my mouth, Juanita. I love that. And everybody's agreeing with Juanita. Thank you for getting that train going, Juanita. And we will see you on Thursday, Sherry. So I will be back on Wednesday. And then we've got show after show after show after show. So join us on Wednesday. Binge watch on Tuesday. And congratulations to all the Olympians in Tokyo, bringing back the gold, the silver, the bronze. The United States did very well, and under some interesting conditions. It was not the same kind of Olympics that it normally would be. And congratulations to that looks like Tokyo almost. There's congratulations to everybody, regardless of what country, because, that takes real resilience and so much work and tenacity. In my professional life, I've interviewed several Olympians, and just what they do, it's extraordinary. So congratulations to those in the United States that took home gold, silver, and bronze, and others in all the other countries, because it's not easy. Thanks, Jim Masterful. Good night, lovely friends, and Jim, lots of lovely hugs. See you all on Wednesday. Yes, we'll be here. Class dismissed for tomorrow, but we'll be back with more inspiration and entertainment and levity on Wednesday. Yes, congratulations to all the Olympians. Absolutely amazing. And Cynthia says, lovely, sweet dreams, dear friends, and Jim. You are all such a precious blessing in my life. Thank you very much. Good night in our nation's capital to you, Cynthia. And Jane in Sweden says, Jim, you and Lovity. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You guys are the best. Hopefully we didn't miss anything here, but you have a great rest of your night. And as we always say here on the show, as you guys know, we always try to end with a positive bent. We always say, don't forget to smile. Don't forget to share the Lovity. Don't forget to find your Zen place. Mine is with loving family and friends. I'm also a cyclist. I love tennis, writing, of course, gardening, sports, all of it, music, and the ocean. Here in the Northeast, growing up, right here on the coast, we are blessed with the ocean. That's the Atlantic you're looking at. Swimming, surfing, boogie boarding, sailing it, floating in it, just watching the sun rise and set in it. It's more powerful than I am, but it breathes life. It has a rhythm and a tide. Whenever you think, and we talked about it a lot on this show, I love the ocean, as you can see. Always go to those places when life gets a little rough. Go to the places that are constants, nature, the ocean, places that have, things and places that have been here well before us and will be here well after us. And of course, my work in television, radio, stage, and film over the years, that's also a Zen place for me as well. And as you can tell, of course, Stephen is Zen when he's with his kids, when he's doing his work, and now with this upcoming event in October as well. The Jim Masters TV channel on YouTube is a channel dedicated to entertaining, informing, educating, and inspiring. YouTube, Jim Masters TV. Give it a subscribe, show it some lovity. We would love that. And we thank all of you for joining us here for this great episode. And we thank Stephen as well. Again, StephenMcCall.com is the website to check him out and learn more about the incredible work that he is doing. That's a great shot, right? Happy man in a happy place and a happy time of life for him. We really appreciated him, author, playwright, keynote speaker, for joining us here on the show. And we thank him for his military and governmental service to our country, of course, as well. And Alessandra says, Jane, you're officially a good friend of mine. I'll always be there for you. I love that. And Jane says, you, Jim, a lovely family, and CT Ryan Kelly, music is what have me standing up still. I appreciate that very, very much. And Alessandra says, I'm very grateful to all of you. Thanks so much for coming into my life. We love hearing that, and vice versa. And Maureen in Arizona says, sending lovely hugs to everyone. Have a wonderful night. Sweet be your dreams. We love when you say that. Good stuff. Good stuff. And you guys are the best. So take care. Be well. We shall see you again. We'll again return with much more for all of you coming up on Wednesday. And again, you can see this episode again and all of them on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, and give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed yourself. We love you all. We wish you nothing but blessings in life. And thanks again for joining us and making this another banner episode on the Jim Masters Show Live. Have a good night, gang. Take care. Be well. Love one another. Take care of one another. And we'll see you again on the next episode of JMS. Good night.